Hi, welcome back to the Excel to SQL series. In this video, we will see how to calculate total sales by market. In the previous video, we had a look at our data set and understood what all columns should we have. We uploaded the file into SQLite database management tool, and we also wrote our first SQL query to see all the columns from the table and their data within DB browser for SQLite. But before we go to SQL, let us look at how we would do this in Microsoft Excel. I will navigate to my Excel file. To create a pivot table, I will click anywhere inside my table. Then at the top, besides the Home tab, on the ribbon, I will click on Insert. Then I will click on Pivot, and then I will choose From Table Range. Then I will create the pivot in a new sheet, and I'll press OK. Once the pivot is created, I will drag my market to rows. I will navigate to my sales column, drag it to values, and that's it. I see that I have 5 markets, and for each market I can see the individual sales. We can call this our total sales by market, or we can just call it total sales. Now for us, I'll quickly save the file. I will come back to SQLite. This is what we had done the last time. I will press enter twice to just come on to the next line. And remember, when you want to separate queries in SQL, you can put a semicolon at the end and helps you separate the queries. So last time we had done this, which was we had listed down all our columns from the table, orders underscore compact. Now here what we will do is we'll again write a query. So we will write select. What do I want to select? So since I want to see the data for my market and sales, I want to refer to 2 columns. So I have my market column here, I have my sales column here, right? So I will write select market, and this will be my first column, which is market. And before I write the next column, before I write the query to calculate the total, I have to put a comma. A comma essentially helps me separate data into different columns. If I do the same thing in Excel, if I write equal to 1 comma 1, within an array, it will put the values in 2 separate columns. Similarly, if I within an array which is curly brackets, if I put semicolon, it will separate the values into 2 different rows. The same concept is here in SQL, and I put a comma. And what is the aggregation? What is the calculation, the aggregation that I want to perform? It is going to be sum. Sum of what? So when you write sum and open the bracket, it says it takes 1 argument. So the sum bracket open and total aggregate function returns sum of all non-null values. So here I want to choose the name of my column, sales. Now here you have to be very careful because the column names have to be correct. Instead of sales, if I write sale, that column is not part of my table and will not be able to detect it. Now I'll press enter to go to the next line. My next line will be from. I'll write the query from. So I'm going to select my market. Then I'm going to sum sales from. When you write from, you want to define what? You want to define which table to refer to. So I'll write from orders compact. If I just run this, you will see that it is giving me sales for only one market. Why is this happening? Because my query is currently incomplete. In a pivot, when you drag the market column into the rows, it lists down all the 5 markets. Similarly, I have to do something similar here, wherein I have to write a clause called group by, and I have to write market. So I want to group the data, group my column, the sum, by market, and I put a colon after that. I will select the path that I want to run. I'll press Control Enter, and then I will see data for all the markets. Now here, the heading for the market column is correct, but I do not like this heading called sum sales. Right? It's not very user friendly, not the correct way to name a column. So how do you change the name? You use something called an alias. So when I write sum sales after the comma, when I write sum sales, I can write as total sales. And now when I run this, you will see that the column heading has been updated. And that is how you calculate total sales by market in Excel and in SQL. Let us quickly look at the query again. I am selecting my market. Now I'm using a comma to separate, to go to the next column, to create the next column, wherein I'm doing a sum of sales. I am renaming the column as total sales, total underscore sales. Which table am I referring to? Orders compact. And the last step, where I'm grouping by, using the group by clause to group by market, like we would have done, like what a pivot table does. It groups the values by the values in the column. That's it for this video. Thank you, and stay tuned for more videos in the coming days.